what I loved about the Air Force was at 19 years old, 18 years old, I was a munitions controller. I was in charge of the bomb dump,
Yeah.
we were flying 37 missions over the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and I was responsible for getting them out the door, okay? And getting them in the door and out the door, all the different crews. So it was my responsibility. That was great responsibility. So I wasn't going to come back and be some jerk off somewhere in a company. Can't do it. He says, why not? I said, listen, I want to be in sales. I'd like to be in sales. He says, well, we've never had a student in sales before. I said, you've never had a student like me. I said, I was in the Air Force. I'm married. I'm as old as any entry-level person in this company. I'd love the opportunity to talk to one of your sales managers. Well, long story short, they sent me into Boston. I had the choice of two positions. So I took a position in sales, and I was supposed to just be backup because I was a student, right? So I went out in the field with one of the other salespeople, and I was supposed to just back them up and stuff. And I went to my boss and said, I can outsell these guys. I said, I'd love to have the opportunity to get licensed and start to sell. And he says, geez, we've never done that before. I don't know if we can do it. I said, well, we've never had anybody like me before. Anyway, long story short, he checks with the home office. I went and I got my insurance license and my stockbroker's license within 3 weeks. I get out and I'm starting making calls, and I get lucky and I bring in a big deal, big sale. I was able to negotiate a situation where I could go back to school working, and I could cover the territory from Boston west. So here I am, I'm going to school full time, and I'm working almost full time. And I arranged my schedule. So, I go to school in the morning and I work in the afternoon all the way back. It was perfect. So there was a sales contest that May. That happened to be my senior year when I had final exams. I led the office in sales and got straight A's on my exams in the same month. It was a blast.